Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hopefully the delay time here was not too much of a burden on everybody, but welcome to Todd's Corner. Got Mr. Mark here, and I'm going to bring on Mr. Roy Bjellquist, and there's Roy.
Hey, Todd. Hey, Mark.
Hello.
And Jeffrey.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey.
All right.
So today we're going to talk about a few things, but our awesome Commander-in-Chief director is not feeling well, so we're going to get him done and out of the way.
I'm good. I'm here. I'm good for a little bit, so I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm good for. I can give you guys like a half hour. So.
Heck,
I'll give you a half hour. I'm happy to be here. It's just been a long few weeks. I just had a lot going on and traveling and getting all this done and everything. So
go ahead and give everybody a little update of where you've been traveling to, and then we'll hit the video.
Well, so let's see. It's just been kind of consistent since May. So I started in May. I went to a place near Omaha, Nebraska. We shot at the Strategic Air Command Museum, which is an awesome place, and shot at there's an actual moon lander there that could eventually someday go. They might use it to go to the moon. It's really cool. So we shot something with that. That was kind of a real life Eagle sort of thing. And then a couple weeks later, I went to England and met Nick Tate over there. And we shot. We got the Eagle cockpit that we'd been building for many months. Got it assembled, put it together, and did a shoot there, which was great. And then I also, in addition to that, did an interview with Jamie Anderson. And then I also traveled to Tom Hanks has an exhibit called the Moonwalkers. It's at a place in London, and a place called the Light Room. And they gave us permission to film there. And I did a super cool interview with a gentleman named Piers Bazzani, who is some of you might be familiar with him. I see Mark nodding. Piers, he wrote amazing books on 2001: A Space Odyssey, like the best books ever about it. He also is a space historian. He's done a lot of books on NASA and the International Space Station, history of space flight, stuff like that. He's a friend of mine, and he and I did a fantastic interview about the current state of the space program and the future of everything, stuff like that. That was really awesome. So, and then I came back to the States and jumped on. We've got some new set of interviews we've been working on, and we also put together a really cool promo that kind of shows where we are. It's a production update on the project and everything. Thought people would like to see kind of where we are right now. And, there's still some goals we have and everything, but we've come a long way. We've shot over 90% of the movie, and there's some big surprises and super cool things that we'll get to announce today. So
yeah. Exciting days. You also hit WonderFest.
Also hit WonderFest. That's right. My gosh, I forgot about that. As soon as I got back from England, I went straight to WonderFest. So yeah. As a matter of fact, it's just the next morning. So
we had a really good WonderFest this year, and that what do you want to call it? The video that you shared and the hour and a half long meet and greet we had, that was awesome. People were loving it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was really fun to see people reacting and responding so positively to the project.
Absolutely.
It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. So that was a good time. Yeah.
I'm waiting a little bit. Yeah, everybody looks like they're jumping in now.
Yeah. We can give it a few minutes
before we do the video. So while we're waiting on that, let's see. We're also going to show Jan's video. Did you guys see that? The video that Jan did of his 25-footer with the lights coming up to the music and everything.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
No, I haven't. I got to check that out.
Yeah, we're gonna play. I'm gonna play it after we get all the Eagle Obsession stuff done. But yeah, it's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was having an open house for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to run until later in July. They're leaving it there. It's
Right on.
yeah. I wish I could get back over there because it's finished now. It's like really, really cool. So I'm
So
actually thinking about sending the film crew over there at a minimum to capture it finished
Hmm.
and everything, so I could see, so I can put in the documentary, obviously, because he didn't have it painted yet. And he's got it fully painted in detail. It's absolutely amazing what he's done. So
Yeah, these the Eagle Obsession crew and you the most have been extremely busy.
yeah.
We're enjoying it though.
Oh, that's great. It's been really great to work with you guys on this whole thing. It's a lot to coordinate and put together and everything. And we definitely, I think we have a film that's going to really surprise a lot of people. So
there's so many different components of this movie too, Jeffrey. I mean, it's definitely it's a journey of taking place, and it's really cool how it really starts out with, I mean, the subject of the eagle and how it ties into the 1970s and then just progresses throughout the time from then up until now. So the audience is really going to have the opportunity to really see and experience that and how this really just affected our culture over the span.
Yeah, I think I really want to caution a lot of the hardcore Space 1999 fans and hardcore Eagle fans. It's like what we've discovered is, you guys have been on this journey with me, right? It's like what we've discovered is, I mean, there's several things, right? We've got one, we want to make a film that can work for general audiences, and that's for, I can never stress enough. This has got to go just, I want Space 1999 fans to enjoy this movie, and I want them to be able to get into it and enjoy it. And I think there's absolutely going to be some really cool moments and some cool story aspects that fans will love, right? We're all fans of it. I'm a fan of it. But at the end of the day, I'm making a movie that will bring Space 1999 and our love of these things to millions of people who have never even heard of it.
Right.
And that's the thing that, and that's always a challenge. Like when everyone keeps talking about, like, well, why don't they do why don't they either make a continuation or do a reboot or do something like that? It's always a challenge because you're trying to figure out how do you reach a new audience, because these things cost a lot of money. And,
Right.
Even with this movie that I'm making right now, it's a challenge where, you guys know, we're still always constantly kind of in the fundraising mode on this thing. It'll be like that till we get it done, but I have investors and people who are involved, and a lot of them have never even heard of Space 1999 at all. And what they're looking for is a story about our culture and about the 70s and about, how did this all impact us and what was it about? And that's the thing that I think we hit on with this movie that's going to be super, super interesting and big and bigger. So, the Eagle's absolutely there. It's absolutely the quote unquote vehicle that we use to carry us on the journey. But the stories turn out to be way bigger than that. So,
yeah. Just like you said a while back, we all thought that we would be riding in Eagles by now.
Right. That's right.
Why are we not there? They just kind of dropped the space program and just kind of took a pause. And in all reality, we should be somewhere near a moon base alpha by now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, there's no possible way that I would have thought as a child growing up, as someone watching that show, that we wouldn't have, at a minimum, had a space, a moon base by 1999. But we thought it would be, I mean, we would never have thought we'd be in 2024, 2025 without a moon base and without space stations that are elaborate and like the kind of stuff you saw in 2001 and things like that, so. And I think what's even more important to me, it's funny because something that I really want to talk about in this movie is the idea that it's not just being into the tech. We're like, oh, we need a moon base. It was having a moon base and having this adventure was going to make us better. It was going to make humans better people. It was going to help us solve problems, right? All those sorts of things. So, I mean, that's so it's. It was going to be a better society. It was going to be a better world because we were out there doing this. That's another part of it.
I mean, especially with Neil Armstrong in 1969. I mean, he was the first man on the moon, and he said, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Mm-hmm.
You really felt that we were going to progress. And then as we were in the 70s, and I mean, we were, relatively around the same age, being, 11, 12, 13, 14, what have you, when the space shuttle was actually announced and we were going to be having that, I was personally thinking, okay, this is cool. This is like going to the next level. I mean, the James Bond movie I think of immediately is Moonraker.
Oh yeah, I was way into Moonraker because I was like, ooh, they got the space shuttles in there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got the space station, and then it's like, okay, so what's the next step to go further?
Right.
And it's like you're hearing the stuff about the space shuttle that it's really not going to be going to the moon. That wasn't what it was designed to do. It wasn't designed to travel further into our solar system. Okay, we're there with that. So then what is the next steps? And then as we've all we've discussed with you, Jeffrey, it just kind of like stalled. And then it just didn't go anywhere after that. And now we're, here in the here and now. And it's only now we're starting to kind of like head in that direction again. But it's definitely been a journey. But it's unfortunate that journey got interrupted as it did, because it really seemed like we were going to go up. And then it's just like we just kind of like went down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and one of the things we talk about in the movie is the fact that we think that's hurt us. It's hurt our society. I mean, you think about the fact that right now, I mean, literally, I kind of shut one of the crew members down when we were filming in London. He said something about, yeah, but did we really land on the moon? And I was like, dude, I'm not even going to discuss this with you. It's like, yeah, do some research. I mean, it's like, and don't just look at YouTube. I mean, it's we talk about the fact that there are people right now who think the Earth is flat. I mean, it's a growing number of people who think the Earth is flat. The number, again, the moon landing deniers, all that stuff. I really believe a lot of this is because we turned away from looking outward and pushing ourselves into that adventure and pushing forward and everything. So, again, what Space 1999 was for me as a kid was obviously, the moon going around the galaxy and meeting aliens and stuff. That wasn't the part. The part for me was, there's a moon base, and there's these super cool, competent people, and they're super smart, and they've got all this interesting technology, and they think, and they reason, and they're cool, and that's what it was about for me, So, yeah.
Functional and operational, and it worked. It was one of the things, even in the novelization. I mean, when you saw it, it was like the 311 men and women that are a part of this base. You really felt like when you watched, especially Breakaway. The opening episode, you really felt that was an operational moon base, and there were all the different components that we were introduced really, really worked. And again, fast forward to where we are in real life, it was the hope that was going to happen. That was going to be the next step. And
absolutely.
And that's what's so cool about this movie, examining that.
I see this question from Nick McCarty about Nick Tate's first words when he sat in the cockpit. The first thing he said was, "Wow." First thing he said was, "Wow." He looked around and he said, "Wow," and then he immediately started talking about what it was like filming 50 years ago, and how, he's like, well, when I was in here, there was he would talk about how, it was never just him sitting there. He was talking about how there's always this huge crew outside. So when he was pretending to be in space and looking out, the cockpit wasn't ever enclosed. We had it more enclosed actually than what he was used to. He actually said he never filmed with it as enclosed as what we did. So he actually felt like he was really in the cockpit finally, being with what we did, which was cool. But he talked a lot about the difficulty in filming and sort of this being surrounded by people and lights and flags and all that stuff, the flags of, the blocking all the lights and giving her, that kind of thing and stuff. So that was it. But he said, wow, he thought it was a really faithful recreation. He was very excited about it. And he and I had a very, very cool talk in there. And I felt like he opened up quite a bit. He talked about his life. He talked about being an actor. He talked a lot about how much it meant to him that people cared this long about this, and that he never could have imagined 50 years ago. Well, he did say that he thought Space 1999 was going to have an impact. That's really interesting, right? How some people will say, well, I was part of this thing, I had no idea it was going to do this. He said, I actually thought it was going to have legs. I thought it was going to be a long thing. But he actually was disappointed that they didn't make more, and especially like what they did the first season.
Along with hundreds and thousands of us.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been on about a little over 15 minutes now, so I guess we've got what we're going to get today. So you guys want to see a video?
Sounds good.
Brand new one. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hopefully I do this right. Now, just for a little bit, everybody's understanding why we were late and all that stuff. I had my laptop stolen, and then all of a sudden my iMac took a down the drain, and it's almost brand new. So I'm waiting on that to get fixed. Then I get this Windows laptop, and I've used the Mac so long I forgot how to use it. So we've had delays now. Just to make sure this does everything right. It looks like it's going to work great, but here we go. This is the first time it's been released.
As we enter the final phase of production, here's a special update on the Eagle Obsession from Future Dude Entertainment. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to explore the moon. My first love was NASA's lunar module. But then, I saw a TV show called Space 1999, and it was replaced by a super cool sci-fi ship called an Eagle. Today, I'm an artist and filmmaker, inspired by visionary architecture and futuristic designs. Yet, for 50 years, the Eagle has always been my favorite, and I've learned that I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I decided to make a documentary that showcased fans around the world. I also got to meet Nick Tate, the actor who played Eagle pilot Alan Carter, my childhood hero. And I also had the honor of getting to know the legendary effects artist who created the beloved craft in the first place. I often wondered, why was I so into the Eagle? Then I realized it was about something much bigger. Space 1999 epitomized a future I thought I'd grow up to live in, because at the time, people had landed on the moon, and it seemed like anything was possible. So I expanded my journey to explore the influence of that unique period in history. I met two astronauts, one who actually walked on the moon, and another who recently flew on it. I got to hang out with two Hollywood icons, one who worked on Star Trek, and an Academy Award-winning visual effects supervisor. I spent time with two amazing authors, one of the best-selling science fiction writers of all time, and the other, a world-renowned space historian. Everyone I spoke with shared feelings of nostalgia for a lost future and a hope for a better tomorrow. I felt the same way. All of this led me to think about my formative years. So I visited my hometown and reconnected with a close childhood friend who grew up loving Space 1999 as much as I did, so much so that it motivated her career as a scientist. Then I had the honor of introducing her to Barbara Bain, the legendary actress who portrayed my friend's childhood role model, Space 1999's Dr. Russell. After exploring the past, I wanted to look ahead, so I got together with a good friend of mine who serves as the technical advisor to Hollywood movies, and he gave me a tour of a vehicle that may someday land on the moon, essentially a real-life Eagle. But the real hope for tomorrow lies with the youth of today. So I gathered a great group of kids and showed them Space 1999 and challenged them to design their own spacecraft to surprising results. Finally, I fulfilled a personal fantasy. With the help from folks at Pinewood Studios, I rebuilt a life-size Eagle cockpit. Then I shared a magical moment with Nick Tate as he reminisced about playing Alan Carter in the set 50 years ago. The adventure is far from over. Plans are in the works for more interviews with key luminaries from the world of science fiction. All of this, plus a few spectacular surprises that will showcase what Space 1999 might look like if it were made today. So get ready, the Eagle Obsession, launching in 2025.
Very cool.
Bravo, Jeffrey.
That was
Very
that
cool.
was powerful.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys like it. Did you guys have a glitch? Did it pause for you? Did it?
Yeah, just for a sec.
Just for a second, right around the Michael Okuda section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we can take some questions and we can run it one more time, maybe. You know, if people want to see it, it's a lot to take in. So yeah.
Comments are coming in.
Can we
No.
hear it?
No, we can't. No, we can't get it earlier in 2025. But no, but it's okay. It'll be worth the wait. It'll be worth the wait. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Glad you liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's pretty powerful.
Cool.
People, yeah, hit some of those.
Barbara was great. Barbara was awesome. She's fantastic. So she was what, 92 or 93? So yeah. So so the CGI effects were done by a company called the Lightworks, and my buddy Tobias Richter in Germany, in Cologne, did them. And we actually did the storyboards and the basic designs. I kind of have been showing you guys as I do it, but John and I used my lunar module model that I have here, and my Eagle, one of my 12-inch product enterprise Eagles, and we used a green screen here in my basement, and we plotted out the shots and everything. So then we and then I used my iPhone and kind of it was funny. I had the idea for that first shot because I was like, no one's ever seen. I haven't ever seen. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen an eagle and a limb together in the same effect shot. Well, I've never seen them together, right? Yeah. But in my head, I always saw them as similar and connected, right? So I thought, I need to, I had this epiphany in the middle of the night. I was like, God, we need to start this video off with a shot that shows you both, everything. And so that's, so then I called John. I was like, you gotta get over here. And then we grabbed the models and the green screen, and we did this stuff real quick. And I set up some lights, and I was like, okay, this is what I want the eagle to look like, and the whole thing. And so then a gentleman I've been working with him, Anthony Taylor, he took the composites and he photoshopped the stuff for me. And then we made storyboards and shot them over to Tobias, and Tobias put that shot together and rendered it for me, and it turned out great. I mean, and I think it really shows. Again, I'm trying not to over speed it. I don't want it to feel like a video game or to feel like contemporary. I don't want it to feel like it was from 50 years ago, but I don't want it to feel like it's from nowadays either. It's like hitting the middle, and I feel like
it's like an upgrade. It's just like an upgrade, but where it wasn't excessive, but it was enough to make it more than it was, but not crazy like it looked fake. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the one thing too is we're really trying to get it as cinematic as possible. And so I try to imagine what would an eagle look like if we saw it in the theater? Because this movie right now, just to give you guys a sense, it looks like we're going to have a theatrical release for it.
That's awesome.
So the idea is going to be to have this in the theater by the fall of 2025. Yeah. So, but there's a lot of visual effects. I've got at least 3 visual effects sequences I'm going to do for this movie. So there's a whole big battle where basically the scene's really cool. I can tell these guys this, but this group, but we're casting some kids who are going to be me when I was little. And we're going to be doing flashbacks, and we're going to see what was it like in the 70s, right? So I want to do this scene where young me and a friend of mine are playing with the hawk, with the Airfix hawk, and an eagle, the dinky eagle, and we're flying them around, and we're pretending we're doing war games. So what I'm going to do is, my idea is to cross cut between these 2 kids playing with the toys to what we saw in our heads. Right. So it's not a reenactment of the episode. It's a creation of what we imagined when we were playing. If that makes sense. So I think that'll be really cool. The documentary is going to be at least 90 to 100 minutes long. So, so we've got a big, let me finish what I was talking about with visual effects. So that's one sequence, which I think is going to be super, super fun. And then on top of that, we're also going to be doing a scene where little kid me flies an eagle to Peary and walks around on Peary. Is like what, the kind of stuff I imagined, right? So it's a personal journey. So you understand what did we feel? And I'm just kind of standing in for all of us, if that makes sense in a way. So, but yeah, so we're filming with William Shatner on July 14th at the Star Trek set tour. Which is going to be awesome. And my entire goal with that is, people are probably like, what is William Shatner in a Space 1999 documentary? Again, the documentary is it's really about the 70s, the 60s and the 70s and the influence of all this. And way before I ever watched Space 1999, I was watching Star Trek. And the original Star Trek, which, to me, I mean, I like Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, but the original Star Trek is Star Trek as far as I'm concerned. And I want to talk with Mr. Shatner about the impact Star Trek's had on our culture, and a little bit about what did he aspirationally what did they hope back then was going to come from this, and how does he feel about it now, considering that I don't know if you guys have seen his documentary. If you haven't, you really need to see it. It's called You Can Call Me Bill, and he really gets into that about life and the planet, and how that experience of going to the edge of space that really impacted him. And I want to have a very deep conversation with him about what that meant and everything. So I'm hoping that the interview that I do with him can be in a couple parts of the movie, actually. So we're planning to shoot that. We've got a crew. I'm bringing in one of my best shooters from the documentary so far. He's flying in, and we're going to be meeting there, and we got a big crew, and we're gonna knock out a great interview with Shatner, and we're gonna be on the sets of the original Star Trek when we do it, which is so cool. That recreation, which is so phenomenal, that James Cawley created. I should add that we're in talks with some other celebrities as well for the film. So we're reaching out now. Shatner's confirmed, but we're reaching out to Billy D. Williams, and I'm hoping to have a conversation with him about The Empire Strikes Back, which is my favorite Star Wars film, and just that was a huge impact on so many of us at the time, and
Brian Johnson.
Right. Yeah.
And Brian Johnson. Right. Exactly. So there's connections. I mean, to me, to be able to talk about Star Wars and Star Trek and Space 1999 all in the same documentary is pretty cool. And I think and again, like I said, the Eagle's the vehicle that takes us on the journey, but the journey's about really our love of science fiction, so many of us, but how our love of science fiction really mirrored our hope for the future. That's what it's about, and that's what the movie's actually about. So, again, it's not going to be about the number of rivets on the Eagle and how the thrusters work and how many girders are across the back. It's just not. It's not that now. But I would encourage someone to make that movie if they want to see it. I think it's like there's definitely still a movie there, right? If someone said, "Hey, I want to do a documentary about the actual." What were the donor kits that were used to build the parts and tanks on the Eagle? That's cool. But Netflix wouldn't be one in that movie. So, but yes, the theatrical thing would be in North America as of right now. So, and we absolutely are planning to do a 4K Blu-ray. All the visual effects are being done in 4K. And the film is being shot in 6K. So yeah, we absolutely can do high def stuff with it. So
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there's so many reasons to watch this movie.
There's so many components, and there's going to be so much to it. And and when you were talking about recreating that sequence too, I think I could speak for the four of us, thinking of us as children being in that scenario where we were envisioning being in that type of scenario too, Jeffrey. When during war games, watching that as though we were there,
right?
That's something that I think really will resonate. And
Mm-hmm. So to answer this question, the Eagle's cockpit's in storage right now, and we're still. It actually ended up being a lot more difficult to assemble than we thought it was going to be. We put it together with the plan on it and everything, and we had a goal for what we were going to do, and the team at Pinewood Machinarium, it ended up being, once they pulled it out of storage, because it's been completed since February. It was built between last December and February. That's when we built the basic components of it. And then the scenes you see, like Brian Johnson and I stopped by while they were building it, some of those scenes, and that was in December. So it's finished by February. We put it in storage, and we just had a lot of trouble kind of getting it scheduled to get everything to lock to be in sync, so I could get over there, shoot the Tom Hanks thing, all the stuff at the same time. So that's why we pushed it to May. Getting Brian there, getting Nick there, it was a lot to coordinate, but the cockpit took probably almost a day and a half longer to put together than we thought. And so we were planning to be filming in at 9 a.m. The morning of the 30th. And we ended up shooting at 3:30 that day. So that was a long day, but Nick was a great trooper, and I was just like, let's just stay. Hey man, we're making history. This is awesome. Just stay positive. We'll get it done,
Yeah.
And we did. And so I think we left it in bigger chunks when we put it into storage this time, so it's a little bit easier. But my plan to ship it over the U.S., it's a pretty complex build. I'm not sure we're going to be able to say. I think it almost might make sense to try to figure out how to take the plans and everything we've done and everything we've learned and build one here. Maybe for the premiere of the movie or something. To do that, so we have one in the UK and one here. Because there's so much stuff we learned from building this one that we could apply toward, building another one and keeping it simpler. I think. I'm not feeling shipping it at this point, but there is a possibility that we will end up. It could end up part of an exhibit at Pinewood Studios because Space 1999 was filmed there, and it could be part of a History of Pinewood exhibit. So we're open-minded. We're not sure what we're going to do yet. I mean, there's also the possibility of really finishing it up and getting it looking really ice and shooting some new content in it, which could be a lot of fun. Because obviously we've proven we can do visual effects of the Eagle. So I mean, there's a little fantasy I have of can we get some actors in costume and get in there and shoot something? Maybe film a sequence or something. We'll see. So there's a lot of possibilities. Right now, I'm focused on finishing this movie. So for right now, it's in storage. There's no way we would throw that in a dumpster. It cost way too much money, and I had to work very hard to raise the money to get that built. So yeah.
Then that would be cool, and it probably with your future plans, hopefully those will come through. It's probably a good idea that stays there in the UK anyway. Yeah. So we can build one here, and we could probably use it for several events a year, probably.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. So, and we'd have to build it with the plan that it gets. No, it's not that there's no cinema release in the UK. We just don't have it negotiated yet. The movie's not done. So it's just like, it's like I have one of my production teams right now that's working with a theater chain, and the theater chains looked at this trailer and they love it, and it's one of the biggest theater chains in North America. So they're there, but I absolutely will try to get something in the UK. I mean, it's Space 1999 is a UK thing, and right. Honestly, I love it over there. I get along great with the people over there. It's a world that I get and people that I relate to, and I'm super excited to. It's really interesting for me to be over there as an American. I think it's funny because nobody's ever taken aback by me or anything, but it's interesting because I think they're like, about this? that's kind of the or they'll say, I had no idea Americans like this so much, and everything. So it's kind of interesting being an American, pushing this project the way that I am and everything, creating the project and doing it. But I've found there's a real open-mindedness over there, and it's my plan to make my future films over there anyway. So so in the long term, my movies like Persephone and some of the other ones, I want to be making them at Pinewood. So that's the plan. Yeah. So.
Yeah. In talking about the Eagle Obsession, we've released a pre-order for the Command Eagle. So we'll have the blue stripes and the Future Dude logos on it. So if anybody wants to know that, I'll leave some links in the comment section after the show. So
and right now we're only making 500 of those. They're a special edition and everything. And they'll have a poster by John Eaves in there of the vehicle, which is a super cool illustration by him. John's worked on so many great stuff, designed all these great Star Trek, ships and props and Marvel and all kinds of stuff, right? So
here's the $100.
As far as the pre-build right now, we don't know. I have a conversation with Round 2 actually in about a week to talk about it, but I don't assume that yet because the pre-builds are a big challenge. I mean, Todd, you know about that, right? Yeah. It's not something that's easily done, and I think that I would encourage people that if this is something you want to try to go for this one right now and everything, because we've already actually had a few sales on it. It's really awesome, and we expect it. Round 2 is planning to have it available sometime early next year. I think is the target. So yeah. So and we do ship worldwide, and we take orders worldwide. And there was a little glitch in the beginning with that with Shopify, but we got it fixed, so it's working. So yeah. So but I mean, someday do I hope there'll be what I'm thinking is we probably will go through this order run, and if we get through this order run, we could probably justify a pre-built at that point.
Yeah, and then there's enough model builders that between all of us, we know that if you get a kit now and you want it built up, we can get it done for you.
See, that's what I was thinking, Todd. We should let's why don't we encourage that for a minute? You know what I mean? Like to say to people, look, if you want, because I'm not a builder either. I get it. I get where people are. I'm not. It's like people have different skills. I can draw, but I'm building models to the detail that people do. I can't. It's just like when I do drawings, people are like, how do you do that? When I see people build models, I'm like, how do you do that? It's like, you know what I mean? So it's a special skill. So if we have a team that could maybe we set that up, and Todd, maybe we could let's have a conversation about even creating like a little service plan for that or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like where you could, and like you pay a little bit more and we'll build it for you. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys that would do that. I got one sitting right next to me.
Someone had commented on the rocket behind me. That's a Saturn 1B, which is I like the Saturn V, but the 1B is my favorite. That's the rocket they use to go up to Skylab and Apollo Soyuz and stuff like that. So it's an awesome rocket. So
yeah, Mark Myers also, he's a builder. He built a few Eagles, and I've actually got one of his in my collection, the Rescue Eagle, the one that we used here when we filmed here, the one that I held and with you and I in that shot.
Sure.
Mark Myers built that one.
Mark's work is incredible. He does an amazing job. I mean, that's really cool. Yeah, and I think you're saying there's a lot of people that are saying that they would actually commit to doing that as far as building. So I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. Let's jump on it this week. Let's make that plan, and then we can offer it as an additional thing that people can do.
Somewhere there I saw BP Taylor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and he just had an announcement. I can't remember what it was, but
he had that build that was 1999 inspired.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it was like the Dragon's Domain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's very, very good. So
there's a lot of talent out there, and I'm like kind of like you, Jeffrey. I cannot build, but I also can't draw. So
yeah,
I can't dance.
So let's do the video one more time.
Okay.
For anybody that wasn't able to join us last time, or it got a glitch. I didn't see it, so it must be part of the. It
must have been the stream. It was the stream because I was looking because the bottom kind of teleticker thing, the welcome to Todd's that was moving still perfect. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was moving fine, but the video.
Okay.
Up, so. Yeah. So we play it one more time.
Let's take it again.
Okay.
As we enter the final phase of production, here's a special update on the Eagle Obsession from Future Dude Entertainment. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to explore the moon. My first love was NASA's lunar module. But then, I saw a TV show called Space 1999, and it was replaced by a super cool sci-fi ship called an Eagle. Today, I'm an artist and filmmaker, inspired by visionary architecture and futuristic designs. Yet, for 50 years, the Eagle has always been my favorite, and I've learned that I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I decided to make a documentary that showcased fans around the world. I also got to meet Nick Tate, the actor who played Eagle pilot Alan Carter, my childhood hero. And I also had the honor of getting to know the legendary effects artist who created the beloved craft in the first place. I often wondered, why was I so into the Eagle? Then I realized it was about something much bigger. Space 1999 epitomized a future I thought I'd grow up to live in, because at the time, people had landed on the moon, and it seemed like anything was possible. So I expanded my journey to explore the influence of that unique period in history. I met 2 astronauts, one who actually walked on the moon, and another who recently flew on an historic mission for SpaceX. I got to hang out with 2 Hollywood icons, one who worked on Star Trek, and an Academy Award-winning visual effects supervisor. I spent time with 2 amazing authors, one of the best-selling science fiction writers of all time, and the other, a world-renowned space historian. Everyone I spoke with shared feelings of nostalgia for a lost future and a hope for a better tomorrow. I felt the same way. All of this led me to think about my formative years. So I visited my hometown and reconnected with a close childhood friend who grew up loving Space 1999 as much as I did, so much so that it motivated her career as a scientist. Then I had the honor of introducing her to Barbara Bain, the legendary actress who portrayed my friend's childhood role model, Space 1999's Dr. Russell. After exploring the past, I wanted to look ahead, so I got together with a good friend of mine who serves as the technical advisor to Hollywood movies, and he gave me a tour of a vehicle that may someday land on the moon, essentially a real-life eagle. But the real hope for tomorrow lies with the youth of today. So I gathered a great group of kids and showed them Space 1999 and challenged them to design their own spacecraft to surprising results. Finally, I fulfilled a personal fantasy. With the help from folks at Pinewood Studios, I rebuilt a life-size Eagle cockpit. Then I shared a magical moment with Nick Tate as he reminisced about playing Alan Carter in the set 50 years ago. The adventure is far from over. Plans are in the works for more interviews with key luminaries from the world of science fiction. All of this, plus a few spectacular surprises that will showcase what Space 1999 might look like if it were made today. So get ready, The Eagle Obsession, launching in 2025.
Man, it's even better the second time.
Well, I sure appreciate you guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, glad you like it. It's been a labor of love, but a lot of work. So we're getting there.
Yeah,
so,
it's
yeah. Mark, was there something you want? I keep thinking you wanted to say something. I didn't miss anything, did I?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but yeah, I was not sure. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So that's where we are. I would say that in the next, we are one thing that's really cool. So we still have quite a bit of. We still have, like I said, William Shatner interview. We have hopefully Billy D. Williams if it works out. We were in talks with Sigourney Weaver, but we haven't finalized that discussion yet, right? So, but we were in talks, and at a point back in May, she was going to be in the film, but we don't have the official word on that yet. I think she had some scheduling issues or something. I'm hoping now that Shatner's on board, it might ping her to push a little further. Yeah. And my idea with having her involved, and we're also out to Arnold Schwarzenegger. The point is, I want to talk about how sci-fi turned dark, and how like Alien to me, even though there was obvious darkness in Space 1999, and you had Planet of the Apes and Twilight Zone, and it's not like sci-fi. Even Logan's Run, right? Those all had dark aspects to them. But if you think about it, Alien feels like when it really started going in a direction where sci-fi started really taking a turn toward, I don't even know what the right word for it, but it got dark. It got darker, and by the time you get to like Terminator and stuff like that, it's got the apocalyptic thing going on, right? We've got in Mad Max, right? Yeah. So it's almost like a lot of the hope of science fiction started to kind of wane and fall apart. And I want to talk about that, and that's in one part of the documentaries, is how it's almost like, okay, so we lost our hope of going to the moon. We lost our hope for the future, right? So once that started to happen, our science fiction started getting darker too, if that makes sense, right? So that's part of it. So those are interviews we're still trying to line up and see if we can pull off. I think the odds are a lot higher that they will happen now, because Shatner was willing to come on board, and everything. So, which will be really cool. So we still have those things left to film. I'm also, now that we're locking in distribution, there's a possibility that I'll be able to film at the Johnson Space Center in Houston and actually be inside the actual Artemis lander. Yeah. Oh, yeah. BP's right. Yeah, it's become almost all postal, and even things like, in my own personal opinion, even stuff like Star Trek has become a lot darker. The way that those stories, it doesn't, to me, it just doesn't have the hope it used to have. It doesn't have the optimism that's there, and it's really missing. It's really, really missing. I'm not saying you can't have a post-apocalypse. I love the Terminator movie. I think it's great, right? Aliens is one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's just that we got to have something to balance it out. We have to have some positive movies too, some positive visions of the future too. So, I'm hoping that we can get back to that and everything. So anyway, long story short, we still have some production left to do, and right now my target is to have it done by Labor Day, have it all shot by Labor Day, and then just get into editing. And then after that, we will have about 6 months of editing to really pull it all together. So we should have, right now, I just plotted out the entire remainder of the production. It looks like we would be delivering the final film next May. That would be the plan. So because we would start the visual effects, because we're still building some of the assets too for the visual effects. Because one of the things I'm also doing is just the same way that you see the lunar. So there's going to be sequences in the movie where I'm going to actually have a lunar module and the Eagle flying next to each other. And we're going to talk about the aspects that make them, what's similar between the two of them. And they're going to do that with visual effects, right? But I'm also going to have the Eagle flying with the new capsule that they just the Artemis, the Orion capsule. I'm going to be using that and stuff too. So that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about going back to the moon. And there's also a possibility. I'm being connected with Elon Musk about the documentary as well. So I don't know for sure if that'll happen, but it's been talked about, and it's a direct connect. It's like I'm one person away from him, and the person who's connecting me with him has been a colleague of his for over 3 decades, and they work together all the time. And Elon's a huge Space 1999 guy. So that's he's planning to name his first outpost on the moon, Moonbase Alpha, actually.
That's good.
Yeah, so so there's still, the point is we've got enough to make a great movie right now, right? But if I get all these interviews and everything lined up, can you imagine? So then, think about the story and how epic and big this will be, and what this will mean, right? With this could revolutionize science fiction if we get it done. We get it done right, So, and who knows? Maybe it could lead to some sort of reinvigoration of Space 1999 in some form. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are always possibilities, right?
Always. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Last plug I want to make is that we are still doing some fundraising, obviously, because the budget keeps. Here's the thing: what happens is every time. So when I add William Shatner, now what's happening is I'm going to have to show clips from the original Star Trek. So I can't just go get those for free. I have to go to Paramount Pictures and I have to license those clips. That's going to cost money. The production's going to have to pay for those clips put in. Now, it's not like we're going to put a half hour of them in there. We might put in 30 seconds, 20 seconds or something. But that's still going to be an appreciable cost to do that. So one of the things that's cool that I'd love for you guys to share out to friends, family, everybody. We've created, I know we've done some like Indiegogo, things like that. But what we're doing now, we've got a new partner. And this organization, they're a nonprofit that actually supports filmmakers. And they actually work a lot with documentaries and that sort of thing. They're a super great organization. And what will happen is if people want to make contributions to help us get the documentary made, what happens is it's tax deductible, which is, gives us a direct benefit, which is beyond what. So in addition to a tax deductible donation, and eventually like a download or a Blu-ray, we can look at trying to do those sorts of things for people, but you can actually be able to write it off on your taxes. So, which is pretty cool. So I'll be giving that information to everybody in the next few days. so people can see that.
Yeah,
And I hate having to do it this way, but it's nothing we can do. We have to keep raising money because it costs money to make this thing. And you guys know that I personally put a bunch of my money. A big part of why we're where we are is because I put a bunch of my own money into this. So to get it where we are. So
yeah, we can definitely spread that out.
Okay, that'd be cool. Yeah, if people want to contribute, and then you'll be able to, like I said, you'll be able to go on your 2024 taxes and be able to claim it. So that'd be great.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'll when you get it to me, I'll put the link in this post and in many others. Guaranteed.
Sure. And then we're going to be debuting this video on YouTube on Tuesday. So it's target Tuesday morning. Yeah, I've got one more thing I got to do with it. We were going to do it tomorrow, but we need to do one little fix on it, and then it'll be out on Tuesday. So I'm hoping people will share it, talk about it, and it'll be exciting. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Anybody got
awesome.
any other questions before this super cool dude takes a break?
Fantastic update, Jeffrey. And
sure. No, thank you guys. Appreciate it. No, seriously, I'm here, happy to answer any questions anyone has before we take off here.
See, Ekmar from Germany's joined us. He said he just visited Jan's. He just visited him in Denmark.
That's great. Yeah, well, cool. I'm hoping that Ekmar can actually be I'm going to put like a little article based upon his visit with Jan on our Eagle documentary website.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Oh yeah, like
Michael's.
Yeah. Michael's.
Oh, thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All righty. Well, yep. Looks like everybody's jumping in and saying, "Yep."
Okay.
They're gonna donate. So
that's great. That's great. Okay. Well, we'll spread the word, and let's even do another show. Maybe we should even do another special show next week if you guys want.
Okay.
Yeah, do another show just to spread we'll do a telethon.
There you
go. Maybe maybe we can come up with some little contest thing or something special for people helping support or something too. So we'll talk about that.
That's a great idea too.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, guys.
Yep.
Well, appreciate you, and thanks for having me on and letting me share this and everything, and thanks for supporting me on the journey with this. It's been wonderful.
It's an awesome journey.
It really has been.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Absolutely, guys. Okay. Well, I'll let you continue your show, right? And we'll go from here. Okay. All right. You guys have a great afternoon.
You too. A good day.
Okay. Take care. Okay.
Well, that was fun.
That was
a lot of information dumped there too, so you might have to watch this twice.
That preview really that's amazing. It shows so many components of the film, which is just really, really, it just puts everything out there. And it truly is a journey too.
It is, definitely. Yeah. So I wanted to move from that topic to Jan Winneberg. He did just recently did a open house. Mm-hmm. And my little Space 1999 producer is talking to me in my ear back here. He did an open house, and he did a nice little video for it. So I am there's Jan.
Hey, Jan.
So we're going to show what he did just recently, and let everybody take a look at that. It's pretty cool, especially for being a homemade video. So check this out.
Wow.
Disco-tastic.
That's
Amazing.
definitely a 70s Eagle.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Jan, you guys did a fantastic job on there. Where's the disco ball?
Kudos, Jan.
Yeah, that was that'll
Now,
go down in history.
What is the size of that eagle again? That is
25 foot.
25 foot. Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and it all comes apart. I wonder, do you have a special place to store that thing, Jan?
Yeah, because we saw part of that when
I can't imagine the wife letting him put it in the garage. Put the cars outside.
Well, wasn't he quoted as saying he wasn't going to build a bigger one?
Right. Yeah. He said, "No way, not." Oh, it's in the corner of the garage. Wow.
Wow, that's just amazing.
That is. I mean, this is the stuff that inspired me to even start the props and ships group and all that stuff. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff out there. You know, we had the 22-inch Eagle coming, but since that was in 2015, I have just been blown away on what's coming out, what people build, what people like Jan do with this stuff. It's brilliant.
Todd, that was 2015. You know, I don't know if you remember. It probably was. Do you remember I was in contact with you then? And I was going to an event. It was in Jersey. And they were doing some kind of modeling exhibit. And they were going to have the prototype of the 22-inch Eagle there. I don't know if you recall that. And
kind of.
And to think that was almost 10 years ago already.
Mm-hmm.
And think about everything that's come since then. That's pretty amazing.
I think it was
I forget what event that was at. It was in Jersey though.
Yeah, it was in Jersey because didn't round 2 go?
I think they did.
Yeah. I think they were there after WonderFest.
Yeah.
Or maybe just before, I don't remember. But yeah, that was a big experience for me. That was I was totally blown away. I mean, I'd seen pictures of what they're doing because, you know, I was talking with them and Jim Small behind the scene, and I still wasn't prepared to see that big of a Eagle model put together like that. That was incredible.
BB Taylor saying Jersey Fest.
Jersey
yeah,
Fest.
It was only probably within an hour's drive of my house. It was not that far. And yeah, and you know what? One of the beauties of having an iPhone is that you can go back because all the photos you take are dated. And
yeah,
I could just check 2015 and I can probably just find it in there somewhere and check it out.
I got so many pictures. I had to join Flickr just to keep them all.
I've got 127,000 photos.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Don't lose that phone.
No, I haven't uploaded to the cloud, but it's ridiculous. It's
don't get your laptop stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't lose your password.
Gordon's got a ton of them too. Speaking of, Gordon couldn't be here today because he's visiting family in Tennessee. So, hi, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon.
He'll be back. He's actually driving back today, so I'm sure he's on the road right now.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're going to do another show next week. And then
I may not be able to join because I may be one of two things. I may be in Canada over the weekend, first time up this season. The other thing is, just so people know if they haven't checked it out already, but I have to find out, CE3K is being released on Fathoms. Is that what it is? Yeah. It's going to be in the theaters on, I think, January 7th and January 10th. They're doing a special release. Not
Which
January.
version?
July 7th, July 10th. I'm not sure.
Hopefully the original.
Hopefully the original, but it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a couple of requests to show the video again. Mark missed it. So shall we just quickly rerun that?
Yeah.
The Eagle video. Mark's desperate to see it. So
we're going to run the video one more time because a few people came in since the video was showed. Let's wait another 5 minutes just in case other people jump in. But yeah, 2015 is when it all this started. You know, obviously I was in contact with Gordon. I think 2013, because 2014 he went to the convention in London.
Yeah, it was in Peterborough.
Peterborough.
That's where I met. That's where I'd met Gordon for the first time.
Yeah,
2014.
And he got a few things signed for me, and so that's when we came up with, you know, we need to do some kind of. It was back then the eagletransporter.com.
Right.
They had a pretty cool forum there. So yeah, it all started back then, and it's something every year. It just keeps bringing it up, going up. I keep waiting for it to fall off, but it's not. So far, we've figured a way out to keep it going.
I think it's going to keep going. I mean, it's just such a resurgence with everything.
Right.
Which is cool. And, you know, it's just crazy to think that this show is like 50 years right now. It's just it's insane. I don't know. Time is just. Did you notice like the last like 10 years just went like so fast? It's like the first 30 or 40 didn't.
It seems like we're just yesterday.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
So, what do you think, Jan? That was a pretty good video. I like the lighting actually. I mean, when the flashing lights were not there, that glow with the smoke in the back, it looks like the Eagles down there on what planet was that? Where
Full Circle?
Mentor. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Or Psychon?
Psychon. It was sitting there and it's kind of smoke rolling up.
Yeah, Jan said totally 70s disco. And then he was asking specifically what you meant about.
Oh, yeah. What do you watch in the comments on? Is it on YouTube?
I think it's pulling from YouTube where I'm seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the only ones I can see is from YouTube.
Actually, I can join the chat, it says. I don't know if it'll connect me. My computer's...
Yeah. I'm just trying to get an idea of where everybody's watching from because, you know, I put all those links in there. So, yeah, with the Facebook changes, it won't let us share like we used to in groups.
Yeah,
so I have to go with all the pages. It's always Mark messing up the Facebook stuff. He thinks he's trying to make it better.
It's constantly changing and being modified. It's just I don't know. I haven't done the show in maybe about 3 weeks, and then I had logged in for the first time, and then when I was trying to do the prep, it was saying that it wouldn't connect, and my hard drive kind of sank.
Yeah,
because it was saying you had to have so many followers, and then you had to have this and that. But fortunately, everything was good. But it was just like, wow.
Do you have any anything you want to plug while we're talking? Any tie-dye stuff or what you're doing?
Yeah. In regards to Roy's tie-dye sci-fi corner, the show essentially deals with 60s, 70s, 80s. That's the core of what we talk about. I'm broadcasting on the show's page right now. So we are at our 244th episode in this. We're going to be covering the Wild Wild West.
I love that show.
I know. The
original.
Wild West. Yes, the original with Robert Conrad and Ross Martin.
Yeah.
From 65 to 69. Yeah, it was.
God, we're old.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Lovelace, Michael Dunn. He was actually in Star Trek. He was Alexander in Plato's Stepchildren. There's the Star Trek connection. But anyway, I've had to reschedule because we've had technical issues. We've had storms going through here. We had almost like a hurricane that came through here last Wednesday. We were out with power for 3 days. We just got power back last night. But anyway, stay tuned. We will be covering that. The show is usually on for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I do it with my my old friend Ross Amico. Ross and I have been friends. We were friends like 40 years ago back in high school, and then kind of lost touch and we reconnected after like 34 years. So it's great to have done that. So anyway, I'm not sure what the date will be, but stay tuned on that. So I'll let you know about that.
Cool. Are you planning on going to the London event?
Yes, I'm trying. I'm hoping that that's going to happen, and I'm not sure yet. It's really depending upon a lot of things because I pretty much was out of work for a long period of time, and just getting back and getting situated with that. So hopefully, but for the folks out there, the dates the London 1999 convention is September 11th through the 17th, and the website for anything on there, folks, check it out because there's so much stuff that's, I guess, that could change or could be going on. Just go to www.space1999 50years.com, and everything is on there as far as what's going to be going on. So I don't know. I'm hoping, Todd, but I'm not sure. What about you? Do you know if you're going to be able to make it there?
I don't know yet. I've used up most of my vacation already.
Yeah.
Of course, I could take off, and my boss usually has no problem with it, especially with the transitions at work that we're doing. So we'll see. It's going to be a last minute thing. Jump on a plane and
that's the whole thing with that. And, with the flights and everything, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be within the last, I'll probably know by like maybe the beginning of August, I'm hoping.
Right.
But, the 13th, September 11th through the 17th it's less than 3 months away. So, but anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of next year, the WonderFest is going to be a huge Space 1999 anniversary for us. We're going to have quite a bit of stuff going on. We've got a very large area that we're more than likely going to be renting, and possibility of what Jeffrey said, building a cockpit for the USA. That is definitely directed at WonderFest in 2025. So you guys should really, if there's a time to go to WonderFest, start planning now because it's going to be huge. They're also having, I think it's Jaws. Yeah, Jaws is
75. Yeah.
Old. So it'll be a pretty interesting WonderFest, and I'm pretty sure Nick's going to be back, and maybe a few others that we'll have to wait to announce when it gets closer because it's still, a little under a year away. So,
Todd, folks can actually they can book their reservations now then too for that, right? The hotel.
Yep. I mean, in fact, I need to get on the ball and get all of our stuff ordered, set up. So yeah, and for those that haven't been there or been there in a while, the hotel has changed quite a lot. The rooms have been renovated, and some of the what do we call those? The suites or parlors are totally different. So just be aware of that. You will, when you go back, if you haven't been there in a year or two, you're going to see a totally different setup. But get your if you're thinking about it, and you don't have to pay for your rooms right now. You just got to put a credit card that you're going to use just to hold it.
Right.
And then, but it's a good idea because I have a feeling it's going to sell out very quickly. And so do the WonderFest people. I've already been in talks with them. So, but yeah, big 50th anniversary next year at WonderFest. So make a plan. Make a plan, and hold on, honey. I'll help you in a minute. Because it's going to be big, and they sell out fast.
I really had a good time last year. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it this year, but last year was the first time I was able to get there.
We've had some really good years there.
And that's been going on for quite a long time. And there's another friend of mine that I have actually met up at the Star Trek set tour, and Sean Tabor, and he does stuff there with his son Alex, and he's been doing that with him. Alec is he's almost 19 years old, but it's been almost like a kind of like a family type of what's the word I want to use? It's a wow, I'm going up on the word family tradition that every year, he brings them to WonderFest, and as the years progressed, he's built the models and everything, and it's really cool.
Yes, Jan, if you bring your Eagle, I will even get you a room. Or you can sleep in the Eagle, however you want to do it. But yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to see that there. Just, man, travel these days, good grief. Where was I going next? Let's run the video for these guys that haven't seen it yet. It's blue and okay. Anyway, here we go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm sure people have some things they'd like to get done today, especially in Europe. Probably go to bed.
Yeah, it's kind of late over there.
Yeah. So we'll do this again next week, and I'll give you some updates on some stuff next week. How's that?
Sounds good. Sounds really good.
Eric said one more time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.